Hi, I'm Nikki.
And I'm Megan.
Welcome to the Grimdark Diaries.
We're your geek gal pals obsessed with true crime and all things dark and disturbing.
Hi, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Grimdark Diaries. We are back for another episode of Juicy True Crime. I have exciting news that I'm very happy to share.
Love hearing news.
Yes, I know everyone heard me rant and rave about buying a house and how hard it was and how frustrating it was. And then I just suddenly stopped talking about how I was trying to buy a house. And it's because I bought a house.
So
Yay.
exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you. By the time this episode comes out, I will have, hopefully closed on my house. It will be past the closing date, so
That's right.
I should be in it. We hope.
Yes, you will. Everything is going to go smoothly.
I hope so, because even just thinking about it, I'm already starting to sweat.
Don't think about it. Just go with the flow. You got this.
Yeah, it was a pretty wild time. It was a house that my husband and I had viewed, and we really liked it. So we put an offer in, and we did not get our offer accepted. And I make sure that I find one thing about the house, that every house I view, I find one thing I hate about it, so that if I don't get my offer accepted, I can just remind myself about that thing that I hate. So that I can be like, oh, well, that thing was awful, so I'm glad I didn't get this house. So with this house, the living room was a little smaller than I would have liked. So then I told myself after I didn't get the offer accepted that it was too small and I would have hated it and I would have been miserable there and it was awful and it was not the house for me. And I made sure to remind myself of that so that I didn't feel bad. And then like a week and a half later, my realtor calls me because at first I was very confused because we hadn't put any offers in that week and I didn't know why he was calling me in the middle of the week. And he was like, oh, hey, remember that house that you put an offer on? Well, their original offer, it fell through because of everything going on. And so then the homeowner went to their backup offer, which then also fell through because of all of the craziness with COVID.
Yeah.
And they basically didn't want to relist the house. And that was at the 1st of May. So it would have been right when we were all going into lockdown and COVID cases were going crazy here. So I understand not wanting to have people viewing your house right now. So then the selling realtor said that in the next kind of group of offerings that were below those top offers, they were going to let us reoffer. And luckily I was in that little group. So I went to my realtor and told him what we had to, or asked him what we can do to get the house. And then he gave us some suggestions of stuff like getting our mortgage pre-approval letter and stuff to kind of sweeten our deal and up our offer a little bit. And so then we reoffered and we got the house, and it was very exciting and stressful because as I was telling Megan, I, first of all, couldn't really remember the house because I hadn't looked at it for like 2 weeks. And right now when you view, you get like 15 minutes in this house.
That's right.
So we were only in there for 15 minutes. Clearly we liked it because we put an offer in originally. But then I spent like almost 2 weeks telling myself that I hated this house so that I didn't feel bad. So then I didn't really feel like I liked it anymore. I was like, I'm not really excited.
Kind of disappointed that you might have got a house.
Yeah, I didn't know how to feel. I was really stressed out. But then clearly we liked it and we put the offer in originally. So I was like, once I get in that house, I'm sure I'll get that feeling back. But Megan knows I was texting her and I was like, I don't know how I feel right now. I just bought a house. And, I just bought a house and I can't remember if I like it or what I liked about it.
But luckily it was like, it wasn't even a week after that where you get to go back into it though, right?
Yeah, it was. So we got accepted they accepted our offer on maybe Wednesday or Thursday, and then that Monday
That's right.
we were in there for the inspection.
Yeah.
And we went back in the house and we remembered why we loved it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
I can't wait to see it.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
So excited.
Megan is going to help me move, so
Yes,
she's
I
going to get to
am.
see it very soon.
Yes. It's going to be a great day.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never purchased a house. I don't really know what's happening.
Well, you've made it this far. I think you'll make it
Yeah.
the rest of the way. I think the rest of the way is the easy stuff. We're just going to move your stuff into it, right?
Yeah, I did all the hard things.
That's right.
I gave people a lot of money. I signed like 100 pages of things. So now I'm just waiting for the keys.
That's right. Exactly. So you've already done all the hard work. So now it's just the easy stuff. Move your stuff in and you're good to go. And you have lots of helpers within public health orders.
Yes, it will be under 10 people.
That's
Nobody at us.
Exactly. Following all the public health orders, no worries. But we'll get you
Yes.
moved in. I'm very excited.
Oh my goodness. I've been packing for a month. It's wild. I'm just trying to pack up my life in the middle of a pandemic. It's been stressful.
No big deal.
Oh my goodness. I'm just excited to be in a house and not in an apartment building in the middle of a pandemic. That will be
Seriously.
wonderful.
I really wish that I had been able to find a place to move to myself. That was maybe a, basement apartment with its own entrance. That would be great.
Yeah.
Oh, living in an apartment during the pandemic is also very stressful. So I totally feel
I don't
you.
like it.
No, me either.
Yeah.
Too many neighbors, so I don't know.
So that was the happy good news. Now it's true crime time.
Whoop whoop. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be so excited about true crime.
Yeah. You seemed more excited for the true crime than for my new house, Megan.
Well, you and I have talked about your new house before.
It's
so.
true. Megan's known about it since the day I actually got an
That's
accepted
right.
offer. She's one of the first people I texted.
Yeah. Super exciting.
If everyone remembers, my category was vacation gone wrong. And oh boy, do I have a doozy of a bad vacation.
Oh, I don't know if I want to hear this because how many people are going to be going on vacation very soon once all the borders open and flights open and
Yeah.
that's fine.
This is a very specific vacation
Oh,
gone
okay.
wrong, so I don't think people have to worry.
Okay, good.
Our story starts with a girl named Heather Mack. She was the only child of a very wealthy family living in Chicago. Her dad was actually a famous jazz musician and composer. His name was James L. Mack. I don't know if you're a jazz fan, Megan, and you
I like jazz,
recognize
but
that
I
name?
do not know artists
Yeah,
other
me
than
either.
like Louis Armstrong and
Yeah.
I had to think of his name for a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah,
But
I love Louis Armstrong.
Yeah,
He makes one of my favorite songs ever. Actually, I will absolutely dub it my very favorite song. It is Louis Armstrong and Ella Fitzgerald, and it is Dream a Little Dream.
Oh, I love that song.
Yes, it is my favorite song.
That is a lovely song. I
You know, I
love
love
the
my
two
vintage
of them.
music.
Yes, I do. Yep. I love it, but not as much as you do.
Yeah.
I haven't met anybody who loves it as much as you do.
Yeah. So Heather's dad, he was very, very famous and very successful in his music career. Heather never lacked for anything, and they raised her in $1 million home. They always ensured she had the best of everything. The family loved traveling and going on expensive trips. That was kind of just the normal way of life for them, as they were always, going to these fancy places and vacations and kind of the best of everything, which well deserved. Her dad worked very hard and was very good at what he did. So, definitely deserved that kind of life. Heather was said to be a bit of a mischievous child, but nothing ever too serious. They just kind of thought it would be, a bit of a phase. You know how some kids are a little naughty when they're younger, and then once they grow up, they kind of grow out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what they just chalked it up to be. She was definitely a big daddy's girl. Her and her father, James, were extremely close. Right from the beginning, she and her mom, Sheila Von-Wiese Mack, didn't get along. They always seemed to be arguing and just kind of always at each other. So James was definitely the peacekeeper in the family, and both women just adored him. Unfortunately, things would take a bad turn for the Mack family when James was diagnosed with colon cancer.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sad.
His condition worsened as the years went on, and eventually he had to start using a wheelchair. While on a trip to Athens, Greece with his wife Sheila in 2006, he unfortunately passed away in their hotel room from a pulmonary embolism at the age of 76.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
At the time, Heather was only 10 years old.
Oh, that's way too young to lose your father.
Yeah, so they were older when
I was
they
just going to
had
say,
her. Yeah, Sheila's a little younger than him.
He would have been in his 60s.
Yeah, I believe she was in her 40s.
Okay.
Yeah, late 40s, early 50s.
Still, that's a dangerous pregnancy.
After his passing, Heather and Sheila's relationship took an even worse turn. Without James, who was definitely kind of the peacekeeper in the family, he definitely acted as the rock for them. Things got rough for the two Mack ladies. Those around them described their relationship more like friends and less like a mother-daughter dynamic. So more like, they were definitely like buddies. Like, it's not like they hated each other.
Right.
But, you know, they would bicker and they would argue. So it wasn't really like a
the
mom-daughter.
Daughter may not end up respecting the mother because she took a friendship stance with her instead of a mother stance with her.
Exactly. The police were called to their house a lot because Heather would get violent with her mom.
What?
And she would fight with her mom.
Yikes.
Sheila's siblings said in an interview that Heather would be physically and mentally abusive towards her mom. Sheila's friend, Elliot Jacobson, later provides the Chicago Tribune over 150 emails from Sheila that show a history of toxic relationship the mom and daughter had. In the emails, Sheila describes fearing for her safety because of the things Heather would say and do to her.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So she definitely has some anger issues, and it's definitely directed towards her mom.
Right.
One article that I read said that it was found in some of the police reports that Heather once punched her mother in her broken ankle.
What?
Yeah.
Ouch.
She also at one point broke her mother's arm.
How do you break your mother's arm?
I think it was like she pushed her down on her arm and it broke.
Oh my gosh, that's not like a small thing. Like, you'd have to do that forcefully.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yikes.
Juvenile records obtained by the Chicago Tribune showed that Heather was arrested in December 2011 on domestic battery, aggravated battery, and battery charges involving violence against her mother.
Oof.
She was found guilty of battery and ordered to attend mandatory counseling with a focus on anger management.
Do you know how old she was at that time?
2000. So she was 10 in 2006, and then so she'd be 15.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So still young.
Holy smokes.
Even with all of this happening, Sheila never pressed charges against Heather. In total, police were called to the home 86 times for assault-related complaints.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That poor mother. I can't even imagine.
Yes. And keep in mind, so James has passed on. They had an estate worth a lot of money.
Okay.
So they had everything they wanted. Mm-hmm. Heather had access to anything and everything she could possibly want. Her mother made sure she had access to anything and everything she wanted, and Heather still treated her mom like this.
Oh my gosh, that makes me so sad. Clearly she had it out for her mother for whatever reason it was, and didn't know how to deal with it.
No. Heather would eventually drop out of high school 2 years early, and she also spent some time living in 2 different facilities for minors in the country's juvenile court system who suffer from mental health problems. So from what I found, she didn't have any diagnosed necessarily conditions. It was more her anger issues.
Right.
Heather started surrounding herself with a lot of bad influences in the form of her friends and relationships. Sheila wanted her to stay away from all this negativity as much as possible, but Heather was not having it.
Mm-hmm.
She already had a lot of anger issues as is, So the people she surrounded herself with weren't helping that either. It was almost encouraging it and kind of egging it on.
Right.
When Heather was 18, it seemed like the majority of fights always revolved around her relationship with her current boyfriend, Tommy Schaefer. Sheila made it clear that she did not like Tommy and thought that he was really toxic for Heather. Mm-hmm. And she very much got a vibe of like a bad influence, and he was kind of making her issues and her anger worse. This just further fueled the volatile relationship Heather and her mom had, and she continued dating Tommy. So then that kind of just further pushed Heather and Sheila apart.
Right.
So it was kind of, you know, Sheila didn't agree with it, and that just pushed her further into the relationship and wanting to have it, and that just...
Of course.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Sheila really did want to make an effort, though. She wanted to repair this relationship. It was her only daughter. She really wanted to have that, you know, perfect mom-daughter relationship.
Well, and she was probably a reminder of her husband who she lost.
Absolutely.
So why wouldn't you want to?
Sheila decided to take Heather on a luxury vacation to the St. Regis Resort in Bali, Indonesia.
Wow.
The cost of this vacation was $10,000 per person.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
US dollars. So that's like 12.5K Canadian
Oh my gosh. I can't even comprehend that kind of money.
No. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite the lavish trip, all right.
Yeah. And Heather's only 18 at this point.
Oh my gosh. She doesn't even know how good she's got it.
No. I looked up this resort.
Okay.
Because I had to know
why would you want to do that?
Expensive. I know. So there was pictures. The pictures are absolutely stunning. It was a beachfront hotel, and it has state-of-the-art spas sprawled across 9 hectares of lush gardens.
Oh, wow.
The rooms, on average, are $2,000 a night.
That is a lot of money per night.
Right?
Oh my gosh. How long did they go for?
It was a while. It was like a week or a little more than a week.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like the all-inclusives down south that you can go to.
Oh my God, no.
Less than
Every
$2,000 for a
all-inclusive
whole
everyone I've stayed at, there's been cockroaches in the walls.
Oh, gross. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
fine.
So sorry to hear that.
That's fine. So when I was at the website for this resort, on their main page, this is a quote that I took, and it says, "Super luxe is the modus operandi here. From the gilded spa to the epic swimmable lagoon pool and round the whoa." Freudian slip.
What did you just
Round the clock butler service.
Wow. Okay.
I hope it's not round the clock butler service. That'd be a whole different resort, and I think it would be more expensive than $10,000 per person.
Yeah. Somewhere where that is maybe legal.
Yeah.
If there's that place.
God.
That's so funny. That is crazy, though. Holy smokes, that quote.
Yeah.
You actually said it in like the perfect accent too, where it sounded very like posh.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, there we go.
So if I want to sound posh, that's the accent I need to pull out.
Apparently, yeah. That's that's what I think anyway.
Yeah. When I finalize my house in a couple days, I'll talk with that accent.
There
They'll
you
think
go.
I'm fancy.
Yeah, you fancy, huh?
Yeah. As I show up with my not fancy things and not enough furniture to fill a house.
You'll make it fit. It's fine.
Yeah. When Sheila's friends found out that she was planning this trip with Heather, they advised her not to do it. They had seen what she'd been going through with her for all these years, and they all felt that the trip wouldn't help. It wouldn't do anything. Heather didn't appreciate stuff like that. So, they told Sheila not to do it. They were like, it's a lost cause. Doing this is not the key to repairing the relationship.
Buying her love is not going to do anything for you.
No. And considering Heather's life has been like this, like she's always accustomed to luxury trips.
She just expects it, probably.
Yeah. It'd be one thing if they had never done something like that before, and then for her mom to, save that money and do that, it would be like, oh my goodness, like what a gesture.
Yeah.
But this is just normal life for them.
Another vacation for them.
Exactly.
Just like all the others.
Yeah. On August 4th, 2014, they checked into the hotel. By all accounts, the first of the trip was actually going pretty well. The two ladies were enjoying living a life of luxury. The resort was beautiful. They were, doing the spa stuff, enjoying drinks. But that kind of blissful vacation didn't last for long. Mm-hmm. After they'd unpacked their luxury suite and settled in, Heather told her mother that she was going to go for a walk. At first, Sheila didn't find this odd. It was beautiful and the grounds were beautiful.
Right.
But then this would become a frequent daily occurrence for Heather, going for walks by herself. After a while, this started to really annoy Sheila. She planned this whole trip as a mother-daughter bonding trip to try and repair the relationship. So she wanted to spend the time there with Heather.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a quick gone for 15 walk and back. She would be gone for hours at a time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In an email from Sheila to a friend sent on August 8th, she wrote she was scared of her daughter. She was quoted in it saying, "I'm more frightened than ever. I'll keep in touch."
Yikes, that's scary.
Yeah.
So she must have been thinking maybe her daughter was like concocting a plan while she was gone for hours on end. Like where else would she be going? Unless she was one of those kids who like to sit and reflect on a rock looking at the water or something like that. But
I don't think Heather was that deep.
No, I don't think. It doesn't sound like it anyway.
No. Well, we're going to find out what she was up to.
Okay.
On August 11th, Heather told her mom she was going out for the day, but by nightfall, she still hadn't returned back to their shared room. Sheila thought maybe Heather had gone to a nightclub or maybe met a group of people her own age, so she was out for dinner with them. Sheila decided she would wait up for her to come home. Midnight hit and concern definitely started to grow. She didn't want to get back into that usual habit of, interfering in Heather's life and being that presence that annoys Heather.
Right.
So she still just kind of waited, hoping Heather would come home. When 3 a.m. came around, still no sign of Heather.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so now she's getting worried.
I mean, as you would be as a mother when you're only expecting your child to be out for a couple of hours and it's like, how many, 8 hours or something like that now?
Yeah, all day and then 3 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sheila decided she needed to check in with the hotel staff to see if maybe they had seen her during the night. She went down to the lobby and asked to see the duty manager. The manager comes out and Sheila asks if she's seen Heather that evening, if she had come through the lobby or anything. The manager said, "Well, yeah, of course I've seen her. She's up in her room."
She had her own room?
Sheila was very confused because
oh, snap.
Sheila was in their room, or so what she thought was their room. That's when the manager let her know that Sheila was paying for 2 rooms in this hotel.
Oh,
this
my.
$2,000 a night hotel.
Oh my gosh. This kid. Holy.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So Sheila asked whose name was on the second room. And the manager told her, Mr. Schaefer. That's Heather's boyfriend.
Oh.
Tommy.
No way. Oh my God, this is very juicy.
Yeah, right?
You were not
you
wrong.
Just wait.
Oh, man.
According to the staff that were working the desk, it took a couple minutes for it to sink in. And then Sheila went like full momzilla.
That's fair.
Yeah. This wasn't the first time that Heather had taken her credit card and used it without permission.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it's not like it was a new thing, but Sheila was absolutely pissed. She asked to phone up to the room, which technically they could because it was charged to her card, so
fair.
she was paying for the room. Yeah. Heather answered the phone and Sheila said, "Get down to the lobby this minute." Heather comes right down and Sheila yells at her, So Tommy Schaefer, the thief, is here.
Oh, no.
The staff in the lobby said that she was close to hysterics.
Really? I mean, that's fair. This is not a small thing for her to have done. Oh, my gosh.
Whew. Heather just shrugged, and then she agreed to go back up to the room that she shared with her mom. The staff also heard Sheila say, "When we get home, I'm going to sue that man for fraud. And who paid for his air ticket to come here? On my credit card as well?"
Right?
And Heather absolutely stole her mom's credit card and paid for Tommy's flight. And his flight, just his flight, cost $12,000.
What? How does a flight cost that much money?
I have no idea, but all of the articles said that the flight cost $12,000.
That is insanity. Like, was it a private jet?
Maybe.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. No wonder she was in hysterics. Like,
no, what's the limit on that credit card?
Well, that too.
Somebody tried to put $12,000 on my card, because I'm assuming there would be their trips on there, which is
right
$20,000 right there.
Yeah.
And then throw another $12,000 on there.
No big deal, apparently. My credit card would not approve that.
No. Back up in the room now, instead of going to bed, Heather stayed up all night texting back and forth with Tommy. What was this teenage couple texting about? A plot. A plot to kill Sheila.
Frag off. Oh my gosh. Kids.
Right?
Damn it.
Yeah.
I hate this already.
Tommy asked, "Can't you just hit her with a big ass pole?"
Oh my god. Oh, how insensitive.
And why would that be the first thing? A big ass pole.
True. Where is there a big ass pole? Is there just happen to be a big ass pole in all the rooms?
I don't know. Heather responded, "Can't you?"
What?
I don't know.
Children. It's because they're children.
Oh, yes. The next morning on August 12th at around 8:30 a.m., hotel surveillance cameras showed Tommy entering Sheila and Heather's hotel room. In the surveillance, you can see that he has a metal fruit bowl concealed underneath his t-shirt.
I thought you were going to say a metal pole.
He has a big ass metal pole concealed under his t-shirt, so not concealed at all.
I mean, a bowl. Was he trying to pretend he had a belly, like a dad bod or whatever?
Well, we're going to see. So it was a fruit bowl, and it has a big, heavy metal handle on it, and they were in like all the rooms at the hotel.
Okay.
So there were no cameras. There were no cameras in the room, just in the halls. So what happens next, we only know from evidence later found and from what Heather and Tommy say, which, to probably nobody's surprise, what they say changes a lot.
Of course.
So what is thought to have happened is Tommy came in to the room and an argument broke out between the three of them. It was early. Sheila was still in her nightgown, and then there was a fight of some kind or an argument. This enraged Tommy. He took the fruit bowl out from under his shirt because it had a big, heavy metal handle, and he swung it at Sheila's face.
Oh my gosh.
She tried to fight back, pushing him away and scratching at him, but he struck her again and again in the face until she fell backwards onto the ground. While on her back, he smashed the large metal handle into her face so hard that her face became unrecognizable.
Oh my gosh. That is horrific. Wow.
The final cause of death was later ruled to be asphyxiation on her own blood.
Oh my. Oh, that would be horrible. What a horrible way to go. Oh, to send that poor woman.
And Tommy, he was really tall. I don't know his exact height, but from the pictures, he looked very tall. I would say he was definitely over 6 feet, maybe like 6'3", 6'4".
Okay.
So for all he was I mean, I believe he was 18 as well. He was a very tall guy, and Sheila was a very petite woman.
Right. Wow.
While Tommy was beating Sheila to death, Heather slipped away to hide in the bathroom so she wouldn't have to see this gruesome act. Once he was sure she was dead, he called Heather out and let her know it was done.
Wow.
So now they needed a plan on what to do with the body. At first, they considered just telling hotel management that there had been a horrible accident, but then the hotel would have to call the police, and they knew the police would be able to kind of figure out what happened based on the evidence.
And looking at her face, like, what kind of accident would that be in a luxurious, like, resort room?
Right.
Children, come on.
Yeah. They then thought about bringing the body to the police and saying that they had gotten into a fight and Sheila was the one to attack Tommy, so he killed her in self-defense. They realized that that also probably wouldn't fly.
Did they not think about the conversations that they had on their phones? Like, hello.
Yeah. Yeah, you just wait.
God.
Yeah, they knew that police wouldn't buy that. Sheila was in her 60s at this point. Like, she was just not very tall. Like, they knew that that would not have been plausible at all.
Right.
They wanted to leave Bali together, but they knew if they just left the body there, that it would be found and they would be caught before they could get out of the country. So then they had an awful idea.
Oh, no. Oh, I don't even know if I want to hear this.
You guess what? You have to.
I know. I don't have a choice.
No. Tommy went back up to his room and he's seen on surveillance returning, and he has a silver hard-sided suitcase.
Oh,
it
God.
Looks to be just a carry-on suitcase. It's not a full-size suitcase.
Right. Oh,
what happens next is really awful.
I can envision it already.
Yeah. If you don't want to hear something gross, skip ahead like 30 seconds. Brace yourself. The couple lifted Sheila's body into the open suitcase, but she was too big to fit into it because it was a carry-on size.
Mm-hmm.
So they wrapped her body in sheets with blood seeping from her ears, nose, and mouth. They used sheer force to crack her bones and fold her into the suitcase.
What? Oh, I envisioned it,
her
but
own
you describing
mother.
it is so much worse than
her
that.
own mother.
Seriously? How can you do that? Oh my gosh. She obviously never loved her mother.
No. They bent her torso forwards so that her head was between her legs, and then they bent her legs backwards so that they were folded up behind her ears.
That poor, poor woman. Wow.
Even with this kind of way that they're trying to get her in there, they couldn't fit her in perfectly. Like, she just had too much mass to fit in a carry-on suitcase.
Seriously.
So they grabbed another sheet and they partially zipped the suitcase, and then they used the sheet to help tie the suitcase closed.
That's not obvious or anything?
No. At around noon, they headed down to the lobby with 2 suitcases in hand and the silver suitcase on a luggage trolley because it was very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy had a bellboy help him push the trolley. A receptionist who saw red stains on the outside of the suitcase made a comment about it, but Heather said, "Oh, it was just makeup stains."
Makeup stains?
Yeah.
Is that even believable?
No. They had called a taxi from their room to come to the resort. So Tommy and the bellboy went out to the taxi that was parked in front. Tommy insisted that the bellboy didn't help him lift the silver suitcase into the trunk because he said it was too fragile. So he gets it into the trunk of the taxi. And then Tommy tells the driver to just wait a few minutes because they're still paying their bill and checking out at the resort. Tommy comes back into the reception desk to find Heather had run into some issues trying to check out.
Oh. Okay.
Heather couldn't check out because the room was on her mother's card. So Sheila had to be the one to check out.
Makes sense. She'd probably have to sign something.
Exactly. Tommy couldn't leave either because Sheila had canceled the card that Heather had used to book his room with.
Oh, go so Sheila!
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So they had nothing to pay for his room.
Oh, snap. $2,000 a night for over a week? Good freaking luck.
Even worse, Heather couldn't get her passport because it was in a hotel safe lockbox. So when they checked in, Sheila put her passport and Heather's in a lockbox at the front desk. And only Sheila had permission to open it because the room was in her name.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Man. Things that they did not think about because they're children.
Heather asked a staff member, "Are you telling me we can't go?" And they replied, "Not until we speak to Madame," referring to Sheila.
Fair enough.
Now the couple is just full panic mode. They can't check out. They can't get Heather's passport. And they left Sheila's body in the trunk of a taxi parked in front.
Dear God. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, didn't really think it through.
No. Oh, wow. I can't wrap my head around this story.
No. They decide to try and sneak out another back exit, which required them to scale a wall.
It's seriously? Like, is this resort like a prison they couldn't get out of until they scale the wall down?
Because I think it's very high end, so they kind of block out, I don't know, so that nobody could come on resort unless you pay.
Right, like gated entrance.
Yeah, like exactly. So there was some kind of rock wall. I don't think it was like a huge wall, but there was some kind of rock fence wall thing.
Right.
So hotel security cameras recorded Heather and Tommy climbing over the wall to escape.
Oh my, how ridiculous does this is? I feel like I'm watching a movie in my brain right now.
Good.
I feel like this could very well be a movie, for sure.
Yeah, honestly. It gets even wilder. Now they're on the road behind the hotel grounds. They wave down another taxi and they ask to be taken to the airport. They had already had their return flight tickets to the US because it was pre-booked, like round trip. So they thought that they could just show up and sweet talk their way onto a plane without a passport.
Come on. Like, that is just ridiculous.
Yeah. So that was clearly a no-go. Immigration would not let them go through the airport with no passport.
Don't say.
No. They tried, though. They straight up tried. Yeah.
For effort, I guess.
Yep. So they got another taxi. Once that didn't work, they got a taxi from the airport to take them to a cheap hotel. But turns out in Bali, you need a passport to check into a local hotel if you're a foreign traveler.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So they made up an excuse that they'd have the passport the next day, and so they let them check in.
Pretty loose security there.
So now back to the St. Regis Hotel. The poor taxi driver has been waiting out front for an hour.
Oh my god!
For the couple to come out.
Oh no, I didn't know he would wait that long.
Well, they put their luggage in his trunk.
Oh, that's true. Plus, he's at a very luxurious hotel, so he probably feels like he's going to get a nice tip out of this.
Yeah.
Yikes.
After an hour, he decided to look at what they had left in the trunk.
Big
when
mistake.
He opened it, yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, this was definitely not a good day for this taxi driver.
No doubt.
When he opened the trunk, he noticed that through the partially open suitcase, what looked like blood was seeping out into his trunk.
No. Oh.
Yeah, he went in and he asked the hotel staff about the couple that had put the luggage in there.
Yeah.
And they confirmed it was the American couple that just tried to check out but failed. So they told him to take it right to the police, which he did.
Good.
I found that odd, though. You think that they would call the police to come
That's
there, but
true.
instead they were like, no, just drive that right over.
Yeah, that's totally true. Well, they probably didn't want to have anything to do with it because they don't want that bad rep on their hands.
Yeah.
Although.
Because then police would show up at their fancy resort.
That's right.
They didn't want to have the rich people.
Explain it to all the other patrons or whatever.
At the local police station, officers could not believe their eyes when they opened the suitcase.
Oh.
An island-wide alert was put out for the young couple. The airport and ports were alerted, and that's when police were alerted that they had already tried to fly out of the country but were turned away at immigration. Police knew it wouldn't take long to find them.
Yeah.
Clearly, based on all this evidence, they know that this pair did not have a good plan.
No, and they would clearly leave a paper trail everywhere they go.
Yeah, they had no ID, they had no credit card, so
it was
they
very
knew that.
Obvious that it was them.
Yeah. The following day, officers received info that they were at a budget hotel just 10 kilometers from the St. Regis. They had checked and they booked it under their own names.
Wow. If you don't have ID and you want to book a room, why would you use your own names after what you've done?
They're not really planners.
No.
They're not thinking this one through.
Nope, not even a little bit.
Police raided the room and found the pair still in bed. They ordered them to get dressed because they were under arrest. They said the couple didn't seem to show much concern for what was happening to them at all. It seemed that they were confident that the story that they were going to tell about Tommy striking Sheila in self-defense, that they were going to say they had tried to call the U.S. consulate but had heard only an answering machine, so they panicked and they were going to make a full report to the police. That was kind of what they went with.
Wow.
That's the story that they drummed up in their time.
Not thinking about their phones and the conversation they had.
No, not at all.
I keep going back to that. I'm like, duh.
Yeah.
Seriously.
They thought this would go over smoothly and they'd be back on their way to the U.S. real soon. Heather even dropped a bombshell on police. She told them this argument in the hotel started because she admitted to Sheila that she was pregnant.
What?
Yeah.
Come on.
She claims that was what set Sheila off into a blind rage at Tommy.
Okay. But there were witnesses. Right? They had that fight in the lobby with
They did.
All the hotel management.
They sure did.
Okay. Just checking.
Things were not going the way that Heather and Tommy thought they would, though. I feel like this all shows that, like, everything that Heather does and says, she definitely has affluenza. You know what I mean?
What is affluenza?
It's a term made up basically where rich people, and it's usually often kids, think that they, because they're so affluent, that they can just get away with something.
Got you. Yes. Okay,
that makes sense. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the word was made up in a court case because some rich kid ended up drunk driving and killing a bunch of people.
Oh my gosh.
And he was just like, tried to not take responsibility for it, and his defense was affluenza. He just lived such a privileged life that he didn't have any sense to do better.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I can definitely think of a few cases where that would also be the case. So
yeah, there's a lot of cases. If you look up that, I'm pretty sure I put that as a category in our themes list, is something about affluenza, because there's so many of them where people use that defense that, oh, well, they've never had structure. They've never been told what to do. They've gotten everything they've wanted their whole life. So you can't hold them responsible for this crime because, they were raised to believe that they're not responsible for anything.
Have they ever gotten away with that defense?
I don't know.
I'm assuming...
I've only heard ones where they haven't, but they definitely get lighter sentences.
Yeah, and it sounds like if they created it from court terms and keep using it, it's probably because there was a case that
was successful. Yeah. And at least I know that it often gets them a lighter sentence if they are convicted.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's like a way to show that they're not responsible for the actions because they have affluenza. So I feel like Heather, she didn't use that as a defense, but I feel like she definitely would fall into that category of,
yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. They'll just let me talk my way out of this.
That's right. Wow. The entitlement.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
It's gross.
I also read a source that said the couple at one point said that an armed gang had abducted all three of them and murdered Sheila. That was like one of the stories they went with. I couldn't find a lot on that though, so I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I don't know.
Well, you did say that in an article. They changed their story quite a few times, so
yeah,
it very well could have come up initially.
Once police started investigating, they found text messages.
Oh, surprise!
Yeah. Detective Megan already had those text messages from the start.
Exactly.
The messages not only proved this murder was premeditated and planned while they were in Bali, but that it had been planned for months.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not the exact way it would go down or anything, but they talked about killing her for the inheritance for months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Messages showed Heather offered Tommy $50,000 to kill her mom.
Oh.
After Tommy arrived in Bali, they used their phones to text back and forth, plotting the perfect time to kill Sheila. In some of the texts, Tommy and Heather stated that they were waiting for her to pass out from like drinking or having cocktails. In other text messages, they discussed waiting for her to reach a deep sleep. Tommy also discussed the murder with his cousin, Robert Ryan Justin Bibbs.
What?
Yeah, that guy's got a handle. It's a lot of first names in one name.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
What probably started out as just minor chit-chat eventually landed Robert in jail for helping to plan the murder. The texts uncovered by police show that Robert was speaking with Tommy before and after the murder. He ended up serving a 9-year prison sentence in Michigan for helping coach Tommy and Heather on how to carry out the murder in return for a share of the multi-million-dollar estate.
Wow.
Yeah. So everyone be careful if they're like joke texting with their friends.
Seriously.
You know, sometimes you're like, oh my God, this person, my husband, I want to
kill this person. Yeah. I always tell people, I'm like, you probably don't want to say that, like, unless you actually mean it. And then if you do, I'm taking this to the police.
Well, that's, if you joked about it with a friend and the friend did a murder, you'd be an accessory.
Right? Exactly. No, thank you. I would never joke about that kind of stuff.
No.
It's no joke.
Text records also show that before the murder, Tommy was joking with friends about Heather being crazy and how she needed someone to kill her mother. When Heather found out, she texted Tommy asking him to stop talking about it. Her text said, "Can you not tell people I asked you to kill my mom? Because I was so effed up, Tommy, and I really didn't mean it. I've been regretting ever saying that so much, and I've paid for it. She's almost died like 5 times, and I've been so petrified and scared."
The way you're talking, I can just imagine her talking the same way. Seriously, she helped stuff her mother in a suitcase that was half her size. Yeah. Like, come on. You can't tell us we'd believe that.
No. Turned out that Heather was actually pregnant.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
The police didn't believe her, so they made her take a pregnancy test. And so she was pregnant.
I did not believe that when you first said it. Wow.
Nobody did. But then authorities found emails prior to their trip where it shows that Sheila knew Heather was already pregnant.
Oh.
So then the theory about that being what caused the fight was out the window.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So at this point, they really had nothing going for them in their defense. They were charged and went to court for premeditated murder, where they faced the possibility of the death penalty, which in Bali is death by firing squad.
What?
Yeah.
What year is that?
What did I say? 2014?
Oh my, is that still the death penalty there? Oh my gosh.
Isn't that wild?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. A firing squad. Oh my. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and I looked up, I was like, is it one of those things where like they say it but they never do it? No, they do it.
Really?
Yeah, I looked up and it's the drug trafficking laws in Indonesia are like the toughest in the world. Like they are very, very intense with their drug trafficking.
Right.
So if you're caught drug trafficking in Bali, you get the death penalty. And they have, I looked it up and it was more than 70% of the country's prison population have been locked up over drug charges.
No way.
Yeah, over 70%.
Holy smokes.
They're very strict on drug laws over there.
I mean, that's good, but whoa, death by firing squad? That's...
Which apparently isn't a deterrent if over 70% of
so
the
true.
Prison population.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
With no real evidence in their favor, the pair were convicted of the murder. Heather was sentenced to 10 years and Tommy was sentenced to 18 years.
That's not very long.
No, I don't know what Indonesia is different. We're going to learn their prison is very different.
Right.
Shortly after they had first been charged, Heather tried to access her mother's $1.56 million estate so that she could pay for all the legal stuff that came with the case.
Right.
Cook County Judge Neil Cohen originally allowed about $150,000 from the estate to be wired in increments to pay for Heather's overseas criminal attorney and to fund the pregnant teen's medical care.
Right.
But after the criminal convictions, the judge said, nay, nay.
Nay, nay, really?
Nay, nay. No, he didn't.
Not a direct quote.
No. The court records state that Heather will not receive any property, benefit, or other interest.
Good.
After multiple court battles to get this straightened out, only about half of the estate was left. Sheila's brother William, who was trustee of the estate, fought hard in court to make sure Heather didn't profit from her mom.
Perfect.
He had the rest of the estate saved for Heather's baby, which would be Sheila's grandchild, only grandchild. Heather had her baby in prison, and it was a girl which she named Stella. In Bali, you get to keep the baby in prison with you for the first 2 years of their life.
Right.
So she lived in a big open cell with 21 other female prisoners raising Stella.
Wow. Yikes. Prisoners. Not just other women, but prisoners.
Yeah. You'd think this would be a bad experience, but Heather is grateful for it. She said it has a sense of community and they all have each other's back. She's quoted saying, "I would not be the kind of mother I am today, and Stella would not be such a happy child if it weren't for the Indonesians. They've taught me so much about patience and nurturing and how to be a good mother."
Wow. I'm sorry, good for her. Good for the child, maybe, but...
Yeah.
Yikes.
She credits the women in her cell for all helping to raise Stella for those first 2 years. She told a story about how one night Stella got sick and she had 3 people helping her. There was a doctor taking care of Stella. There was nurses there showing her how to hold the baby. And then prisoners were making her cups of tea and taking care of her. So she just felt like she had this big support system with all of the other prisoners.
But isn't that again, the entitlement that you get when you grow up as a rich person? You just expect people to wait on you hand and foot. So I feel like that's just continuation of her life growing up, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She then later said, this is a direct quote from her, There's really no punishment here. It's just about rehabilitation. Yes, I'm locked up, but I'm happy. My life is better now than it ever was before. I'm far happier than I was living with my mother in Chicago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Come on. You're literally in jail for the murder of your mom. Like,
yeah. No, she's happy as can be.
Wow. Okay.
Once Stella turned 2, Heather gave her to a local Bali woman who was from Australia. Her name is Oshar Sortama.
Okay.
The two had become friends during the murder trial. So that's when they met and became friends.
Was she another prisoner?
No.
Or this is somebody...
She's just a lady that lives in Bali.
Okay.
And she's Australian. She's from Australia originally.
Okay.
And I don't know how they met, but they met during the trial. Okay. And...
She must have worked for the courts or something.
Nope.
No.
She's just a local woman.
How? Okay, I don't understand courts and how they work in Bali, I guess.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay. She reportedly lives very close to the prison, and so she brings Stella to visit her mom in the prison every week. When asked about raising Stella in Indonesia, she says, "My daughter is more Indonesian than American. She has a good life here. The people are nicer, and it's better and safer than back home. Back there, I was getting with a bad crowd. It's violent, there are guns, drugs. To be honest, I'm glad not to be there. It's actually better and safer here in prison."
What a backwards way of thinking.
Yeah, I'm very confused.
I am a little bit as well. Like, I get it. There's bad things back where you were from, but that's because you were getting into that lifestyle.
She had a multi-million-dollar house and access to anything she could imagine.
Which was clearly not enough for her.
No.
Oh my Lord.
Stella is also taken to visit her dad, Tommy, in the men's prison, which is next door, but she only gets taken there once a month. Since the conviction, Heather and Tommy have split up. And the relationship is a roller coaster.
Well, he's the dad, right?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
I'm going to give like kind of a brief overview next of like both of them post conviction.
Okay.
We could literally make an entire other episode of like what happened after they went to prison.
Really?
There's so much out there. Like so much.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, they've been in the media a lot, especially Heather. So I'll just kind of go through a timeline of like major events or like notable events.
Yeah.
With like a little bit of flavor text, but I won't get into it all because I mean, we're already...
For time, yeah.
Yeah. If you want to look it up, there is a lot out there.
Okay.
So, in 2016, Tommy released a 6-page, 4,351-word letter, which was his only statement since the trial. Mm-hmm. He hadn't said anything after the trial until this letter. In the letter, he described Heather as that evil girl who manipulates everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was also shocked about how Heather could be having such a good time in jail.
Yeah, make it what you want, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think the men's jail had that sense of community that Heather got in the women's jail.
That's what I'm gonna assume, yeah.
Yeah. In the letter, he also accused Heather of profiting financially as much as she can from the murder and says the world deserves to know the truth. I think she ended up doing a lot of like interviews and stuff, like, well, obviously because there's so much out there.
Right.
So I believe she was getting paid to do these interviews, or they were paying to Stella or something, like the baby, like a trust. I have no idea, but
right.
She did a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
On February 2nd of 2017, Heather somehow records and posts a video on YouTube from prison.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How the hell?
That's a great question.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
In the video, she opens up saying that, you know, the truth is going to set her free and she wants to be free. So in the video, she claims that her mom killed her dad when they were in that hotel room in Athens. This is not true.
Obviously.
Her dad
I'm just
was
like rolling my
very
eyes.
sick.
You can't hear it, but I'm literally rolling my eyes.
Yeah, it was proven that he had a blood clot in his lungs
Right.
and died.
Yeah.
He was very sick. Heather goes on to say that she found out her mom did this 2 weeks before they left for the Bali vacation, and it was then that she made up her mind that she was going to kill her mom in Bali.
Except they had evidence that she was planning it for months before they went.
Yep.
What the... Okay, this girl does not know how to... She's like a pathological liar and she doesn't know how to lie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Seriously.
She says in the video that it had to be done in Bali because she wanted to do it in a hotel room like she thinks her mom did to her dad.
Oh, please.
She then goes on to say that Tommy had absolutely no part in the murder and is innocent.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of that?
She claimed that all those text conversations that police had found where they talked about the murder, she said that she would wait for Tommy to be asleep or not looking, and she would take his phone and text with herself back and forth a fake conversation in order to set it up.
What?
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why would she do that?
Well, that's my next fact.
Okay.
The reason she says she roped Tommy into all of this was because she knew she'd probably get arrested and she didn't want to go to jail in a foreign country alone. So she needed to implicate him in the murder plot so that she wouldn't be alone.
Did she know that they would not be in the same, like, cell or with the same gender? Like, come on. Wow. Yeah, she ain't too bright.
Yeah, she says she doesn't regret killing her mother at all. She just regrets that she got Tommy involved without him knowing what he was getting into, since she apparently told him he was just coming for a vacation, not a murder vacation.
Except there's messages indicating the exact opposite of that.
No, it's fake messages, Megan.
Yeah.
They're fake.
Okay, of course.
Yeah. So I watched this video. It's still up.
Is it really?
Yeah. It's like next level bad acting. It's so bad.
Like, what is the purpose of that? Like,
it's so obvious that she's lying.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Just, like, do your time and just shut the hell up.
Well, a week after this video got released on February 8th, Heather and her lawyer released a statement retracting the entire video and everything she said.
I'm sorry. What the hell? What is the point of this?
Right?
What is the point? Oh my God.
The release says that the recording was made under pressure from Tommy, and he was the one that wrote what she said.
You're joking, right?
No.
Like, he's literally in his own jail cell somewhere. Yep. Like, he's got
they don't
no
have contact.
Control of what you're saying.
No. Bali prison warden said authorities were investigating who recorded and uploaded the videos.
Right. And
both Heather and Tommy denied producing or uploading or having anything to do, and they blamed each other. I don't know.
Oh my. I just have no words for that.
Yeah. In 2019, so more recently, a reporter for the NZ Herald named Lloyd Neubauer did face-to-face interviews with both Heather and Tommy, which ended up surprising a lot of people because Tommy has refused all interviews up until this point.
Oh,
His only statement was that one letter he put out. This article, it's really easy to find. It's very well done. The interviewer did a great job and wrote the whole thing very well. Nice. I'm going to go through some of the stuff that was said to them.
Okay.
So Tommy's interview was very emotional. He broke down a lot. He was crying a lot. He talks about how he's a born-again Christian and he's baptized over 50 inmates while in jail. He definitely isn't as in love with prison as Heather is, but he does say he thinks it made him a better person, and he thanks Indonesians for being so forgiving. He's quoted in the interview saying, "They don't judge you for the mistakes you've made because they understand every person in here is going through a process of cleansing. It's your process, so they give you freedom in prison. You can eat what you want, drink what you want, and do what, because they know the real battle is on the inside."
Jeez.
Yeah.
That was very insightful.
Yeah. When the reporter asked how he feels about Heather, Tommy described her as a black hole.
Wow, that's pretty harsh.
Yeah.
She deserves it, but
yeah,
I guess he's built up a lot of anger probably towards her over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He goes on to say that, yes, he's guilty of committing the murder, but his motive and Heather's were very different. He was emotionally tricked by Heather. She kind of emotionally strung him along and planned it out. And he cared for her so much that he went along with her. So he definitely felt very used by her in the whole situation.
Wasn't she going to pay him like 50 grand or something?
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty encouraging to also do what he did.
Oh, yeah.
But he was also 18, so
yeah,
not that I'm justifying it. There's absolutely zero
from what I could find, he was,
but
he was not from a wealthy family.
Right. Money is a great motivator, I guess.
Oh, yeah. He had a huge amount of regret, and he said that he'd give his own life if it meant he could undo what he did to Sheila.
No.
When asked if he thinks Heather would kill again when she got out, he said he had no doubt, and more so, he worries about how he'll treat Stella, or more likely neglect Stella, once she's out and with her full time.
How she'll treat Stella?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about that as well, because if this woman, I'm assuming this New Zealander woman will give the child back to Heather when she gets
the
out of
Australian
jail.
woman, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said New Zealand.
The reporter is from New Zealand.
Oh, that's where I was getting that from. But I'm assuming she'll give the child back to her.
Yes, that's the arrangement.
Yeah. And yeah, how would she treat her? And what kind of relationship is she going to have with her own daughter? You know what I mean? It's going to be, what if her daughter gives her the same kind of trouble that she gave her own mother, and then she like, gets a taste of her own medicine, but tries to get ahead of it before it gets to the point where she got to with her own mother. Yep. I'm sorry, I'm like thinking of this. These are the things that run through my head.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. So and I will say, like, I read through like the whole interview, and he does seem very remorseful. Like, I think that he is a changed man. So now on to Heather's interview with the same person. Mm-hmm. In it, she talks about how the murder was definitely premeditated in the way that they knew they wanted to kill her, but when and how it happened was spur of the moment.
Right.
She pointed out that there were sharp knives in the hotel room for cutting pineapple. So if it was really premeditated, then they would have used that. So she's just saying that, like, they didn't think it would happen right then. Well, for all they did plan to eventually kill her, it wasn't that they wanted to kill her right then and there, and it was just spur of the moment that it happened.
They have proven that they are not brilliant people, because like, not only did they not think of the knife, but they initially thought of a giant big ass pole.
Yeah, that big ass pole.
Right. Clearly they just do not
ultimate.
Think right.
The penultimate murder weapon, a big ass pole.
What are they thinking of? Clue, maybe.
Maybe they wanted to joust.
Joust. Yeah, that's right. It's called the lance.
Is that A Knight's Tale?
Yes.
It's one of the greatest movies ever.
I know. I love that movie so much.
Mm-hmm. Heather also points out that people say she did it for the money to inherit, her mom's estate. But then she goes on to say that the only thing Sheila ever did for her was give her money. She didn't need to kill her. all she had to do was be home, and her mom would give her as much money as she wanted, which according to everyone was true. Like,
yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, Sheila would have given her anything she wanted. So
that's kind of been proven already.
Yeah. So I don't understand why Heather killed her. She admits it wasn't for the money.
Well, didn't she say that it was for the estate, like when she got arrested?
There's probably in one of the stories.
Different stories. Like,
yeah. I lost track.
True. Yeah. Yeah, that's weird. I'm assuming it's because she didn't get along with her mother and she just wanted her gone so she could have freedom without fighting.
At the end, this is the last thing. So at the end of the interview, Heather asked the reporter if they trusted everything Heather told them, to which the reporter answered, no. So then Heather says, quote, well, you should. You should trust me not to come after you with a big pineapple knife or a fruit bowl when I get out on parole.
What? Oh my God. She's sadistic. Like,
yeah.
Whoa. Okay, that's really freaky.
Yeah. Right? That's the last thing that they said to the reporter they spent hours with.
I'd be moving away from there.
Right? Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I'm pretty sure Heather is up for parole either later this year or next year.
Oh, so soon. I don't know if she would pass those barriers when it comes to parole.
It's Indonesia, though, so we don't
know
what.
True, fair enough. Yeah, that's true. Well, if they're that harsh on drug dealers, I can't imagine. I honestly thought she was going to get the death penalty by firing squad, Nikki. You had me all looking for that kind of ending.
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, and she says, too, she gave some interviews saying that when she does get released, she plans on staying in Bali. Like, that's her home now.
Good. Stay there.
Yeah.
But sorry to anybody in Bali.
Right? She says there's a chance she could be deported back to the U.S., and if she does, she'll do everything she can to move back to Bali.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you find where you belong, and you should stay there.
Yeah. Yeah, they can keep her.
Stay far, far away.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh, my gosh. That one could have also fallen under your category a couple weeks ago. The teens are vicious.
I know. You know what? When I was researching this, I was like, wow, just 2 in a row. Very similar stories.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm like, wow, these kids, man. Holy smokes.
My next story needs to be about how somebody loves their mom, I think.
That's right. Oh, no.
I need to do a 180.
That will be super heartbreaking, too.
Yeah.
Man, oh, man. These stories get me right in the feels. All right, well, is it my turn to roll?
It's your turn.
Whoop, whoop.
Get a good one.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, fuck. What is it?
It's a 1.
No, you crit failed?
I crit failed.
Gosh. God, we need to make up some kind of punishment for if you crit fail. I forgot to do that.
That's so... We should actually have a separate list of categories that we'd have to pick from if we roll a crit 1.
Or maybe I can assign you the category or something.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, like crit 1, I pick it for you. Nat 20, you get to pick whatever one you want.
Oh, that's a good idea. We can pick from the bottom of the list that we never get to pick from because we don't roll high enough.
Yeah.
All right, my category is young, dumb, and in love.
Man, we're really going with the teen theme lately.
I know. I was just thinking that. I'm like, this story probably would have fallen into that category.
Yeah. I mean, you can be young, dumb, and in love when you're in your 20s, too.
That's true. Yep, that's very true.
I would count 20s as young, dumb. I was dumb in my early 20s.
Same here. Definitely. All right. Thank you, everyone. We're going to wrap it up here. So if you want to follow us on any of the platforms, social media, we have Instagram and Facebook at the Grimdark Diaries. We also have Grimdark Diaries on Twitter. If you want to send us any kind of email with your stories, anything like that, you can send us an email at thegrimdarkdiaries@gmail.com. If you want to subscribe or follow us on any of our podcast platforms, you can go ahead and do that. If you are on Apple Podcasts, we would love it if you would comment or give us a 5-star rating. We would love to get a little bit more well-known with Apple Podcasts, and that's how you do it on that platform. Yeah, that's it. So join us next week to see what I come up with for Young, Dumb, and in Love. And remember, a friend in the dark beats alone in the light.